Hey guys, welcome to another video. So this one, let me know if you guys like these book review videos or kind of summarizations in a sense. This one's about climbing the mountain. So I'm actually going to read off that I have here some of the quotes, and then I'm going to get into the subject of it. So actually, let's just right off the bat, it's going to be about gut feeling. I will connect the dots with trading in a sec. I feel like I can't put it in better words than this author did. So I'm going to read it off here first. Your stomach and your mind are inherently connected, which is why people allude to just knowing something deep down, or explain that when they're upset, they're sick to their stomach or had a gut reaction to something. What isn't being addressed is the fact that listening to your instinct is something that happens in the present moment. You cannot have an instinct about a future event because it doesn't exist yet. You can have a fear-based or a memory response that you are projecting into the future, but you cannot instinctively know something about another person or a future event until it is in front of you. When you have a gut instinct about someone, it is after interacting with them. When you know whether or not a job is right for you, it is only after having done it for a while. The problem is that we are trying to use our instincts as fortune telling mechanisms, our brain's creative way of trying to manipulate our body to help us avoid pain and increase pleasure in the future. But that's not what about but that's not what happens. We end up stuck because we are literally trusting every single thing that we feel instead of discerning what's an actual reaction and what's a projection. First and foremost, understand that your instinct can serve you immensely in the present moment. Your first reaction to something is very often the wisest reaction because your body is using all of its subconscious information to tell you. I know that was a little long, but hopefully you guys took away something from that just initially there. Now to connect it to trading. So yeah, I think when you're a beginner trader and you're just learning things, your gut reaction is most likely not going to be developed, to the point where you should be listening to. And then once you have gained some experience in the market, even then, that's the thing. Um, you can't just blindly trust it. I wish it was that simple, but your emotions get the best of you, and that even pertains to your gut reaction. I think you can listen to it, be like, okay, I felt that, jot it down, whatever, jot it down in your head or jot it down on paper, however you want to, and then test it. Like get some more proof of you're right. Don't just blindly trust yourself. I think yes, as you become a better trader, you can learn to trust yourself better, and you have the confidence to be doing, taking your trades and whatever. But at the end of the day, you still need to have a system. You need to have rules and whatever, because that helps with the human, human error that we're all gonna have. But also, um, your gut instinct is based on like what's happened in the past. And with trading, yes, things repeat itself, but it's not always going to be the same. And if you're constantly only relying on your gut instinct and trusting yourself, then it's going to get to a point where something's going to happen in the market or whatever it is, and you're just like, oh yeah, like I felt this before, and I'm just going to blindly trust myself. And maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't. I know there's an instance I saw like a podcast on a trader talking about how he had this instinct to be like, oh okay, like um, oil is most likely going to drop or something like this because this news came out. I think it had to do with Ukraine, right? But he had seen a pattern like that before with something similar with oil. I don't remember what instance he used, but he had lived through something similar. And then it's like, okay, let me get some confirmation of what's going on. So he went and did his research. He's like, what's going on with Ukraine? Like, is this going to affect oil? Like, am I making the right decision? And then once he confirmed it, he went big on it. And I think that in that sense, yes, he's still taking a risk, but it makes sense because you know he confirmed his feeling. He wasn't just trusting, blinding his gut instinct. I think it's incredibly powerful when you actually do trust yourself. But you can't when it comes to trading, and I think a lot of things in life, you can't just go with it. I don't know. Like I'm trying to think of something maybe that your gut instinct. I think with people, usually I allow myself to trust my gut instinct and be like, okay, like this is kind of the idea I felt about this person. Like I'm gonna be a little iffy about them, but you know what? I'm not gonna completely bias myself to feeling that way. I'm gonna allow themselves to prove that they are what I've, you know, felt like they are, what my gut instinct is telling me about them. Sometimes I'm right, which I'm not trying to be cocky or nothing, but like usually I am right about the person. But sometimes I'm wrong. And because I was able to like not completely define the person as that, and I'm able to create relationships with people that so-called initially I would just completely write off, right, because of my instinct or gut feeling. Hopefully that sums up that idea. And then we have a few more to go through. So learn to regulate slash shift through your emotions. All right, so we're going to do the same thing where I'm going to read through a little insert here the author has, and then we will explain it. What your subconscious might want you to know. You want people to love and accept you so much that the stress of it all makes you isolate yourself from the pain, effectively creating the reality you're trying to avoid. Alternatively, Needing solitude too often usually means there is a discrepancy between who you pretend to be and who you actually are. When you show up to your life more authentically, it becomes easier to have people around you as it requires less effort. Automatically believing what you think and feel is true. What your subconscious might want you to know. You want to worry because it feels comfortable and therefore safer. The more you blindly trust every random thought or feeling that passes through you, the more you are going to be at the whim of what's happening around you. You must learn to steady yourself in clarity, truth, and groundedness, and to be mentally discern between what is helpful and what is not. So, I mean, honestly, this is a great book. It has a lot about. I mean, I think one of its key things is like survivor's guide to overcoming depression. So, I think I was reading this book when I was depressed. So I know I'm relating this stuff to trading right now, but just in general, it's a great book. I would really recommend going through it. There's a lot of helpful lessons in it. But these are the few things that I thought I could directly relate to trading that will help you with your trading. So here we go. Learn to regulate your emotions. So yeah, I think I mentioned this in another video, but your emotions are huge when it comes to trading, and you need to be able to shift and regulate them. It's pretty straightforward. If you're feeling angry, you need to look deep and be like, why am I angry at this? Like, is it external? Is it internal? Like, what's going on with me that I'm feeling this way about this trade? Um, it honestly just goes back to like having a clear mind when you're hopping on the charts, and then when things are happening to you, and let's say you take you lose a trade, like how do you feel in that moment? Are you able to like you know take it like it's nothing and whatever and learn from it and actually like go through why it happened and whatever? Yeah, I mean this one's pretty straightforward. I don't really know what much else to add, but I thought I'd just add it because it's such an important part of trading that our emotions. I mean, we're such emotion like humans are so emotional. Like it's pretty crazy. I remember my friends. People still tell me, I guess, especially my friends, that I'll probably like the most emotional one out of them. And I think it's less so-called emotional, but more that I'm open to talk about it because before I wasn't this emotional guy. I was just closed up and I didn't talk to anybody about how I felt. And I mean, I guess that's a man thing, for sure. I'm not gonna say everybody. I'm sure a lot of it's not just a man thing, but it is more common, I would say, with men to just not talk about your emotions and whatever. And I'm still, I don't know, I don't, I guess I struggle with that. People say that I'm emotional. By people, I mean my friends, because out of all of them, I'm the one most willing to have a conversation about how I feel. Sometimes there's times when I don't open up, and they're just like, "What's going on? Like something's wrong with you. Like why aren't you being emotional?" And it's like, anyways, we don't need to go into that. I'm just, yeah, I think, yeah, when it comes to trading, guys, just be more cautious about how you are. Like, I've even heard the recommendation of like when you sit down, immediately just like write down how you feel. Like just in that moment, how are you feeling as you sit down? Like, oh, I feel relaxed, or I feel anxious, or I feel stressed, or whatever. And like you can even have like a rule set system where you're just like, okay, I'm feeling this way. I promise myself I wouldn't hop on the charts. If I'm not able to regulate this and fix this emotion and be in a better state of mind, I'm not going to trade today. Um, yeah, I think that's really big. That's why sometimes I I think for me a good routine is that I've always went to, not always, but when I go to the gym, I tend to like I feel like some people are going to be able to relate to this for sure. It's like you're like, oh, like I feel like shit. Like mentally, I need to go to the gym. Like I need to get this out. And when the gym is my happy place in the sense that I'm able to work through a lot of my feelings by pushing myself and feeling better about myself through that. And then when I come back from the gym, then I'm able to feel a lot better and be in a better state of mind when it comes to trading. Sometimes I push myself too far, and then I can tell, okay, I'm like exhausted, mentally drowsy, like I won't be able to trade today. It's probably the best thing not to. But other times, like it's like perfect. Like I'm clear headed as I possibly be, and it's all because I was able to work through my shit before hopping on the charts. Yeah, there's one more. So sorry for the rant or little yap session. So I mean, at this point, you already know the routine. So let's get into it. Being mean to yourself first will not make it hurt less if other people judge or reject you, though that is why you are using this defense mechanism. Thinking the worst of yourself is a way of trying to numb yourself to what you really fear, which is that someone else could say those things about you. What you don't realize is that you're acting as your own bully and enemy by doing it to yourself. What could someone else's judgment realistically do to your life? Honestly, it could stop you from pursuing your dreams, ambitions, and personal happiness. And that's exactly what you're doing when you stay fixated on those damaging ideas. It's time to get out of your own way, the way you're self sabotaging, not promoting your work in a way that would help move you forward. What your subconscious mind might want you to know. You're not creating the best possible work you can, and you sense it. The reason why you're holding back is a fear of judgment. but that wouldn't exist if you weren't already judging yourself. You have to create things that you are proud to share, and when sharing them in a positive way that helps grow your business or career feels natural and authentic, you will know that you are doing the work that is at the best of your ability or potential. So, with that said, I'll first touch on the last little segment there. I think I'm going to be a broken record at this point, and a lot of these videos are going to be repetitions of themselves. But um, it is really important to create a life outside of yourself. I know, um, it's tough sometimes when you're so obsessed with this idea of succeeding in trading, but it helps you when you have other stuff. Like the point there being like if you're able to accomplish other things, other things in your life, and have other successes. When you take a loss, and you're just when you take a loss, you're going to be able to be in a better state of mind where you're just, hey, it's part of the process. You're able to be in a better state of mind when it comes to trading because there's other successes around you in your life that you're not just losing all the time. I know for a long time it was just like you just go through you go in a losing streak, and it's just horrible because that's the only thing that your mind could fixate on. Like you have no other wins in your life that you can be like, hey, like I have a win. So it just completely crushes your spirit, your confidence, and then that's just that vicious cycle of just continually affecting your trading because now you're just doubting yourself instead of like now it's like, oh, okay, now what if I try this? Like really my strategy doesn't work, and then you know so by having other things in your life and specifically having other wins and creating other goals for yourself and other ways that you can succeed and have a measure of success, it's going to make your trading journey like so much easier. Fear judgment, in general, just comparing yourself to other people is man, it's brutal. I mean, nowadays with socials, it's everywhere. Um, just the other day, my sister's holding this event, and I'm really proud of her for it. It's a cool thing to host your own event or whatever. And she's a very social person. She knows how to work her socials and whatever. Really, the only thing I do is YouTube, a little bit of Discord and WhatsApp. Like my real friends can reach me on WhatsApp. So I have an Instagram, but I don't use it at all. I remember, my point being that I went on Instagram another few days ago. I've been off of it for like, oh my god, it's almost been 2 years. I think like it's been a while. I've had periods, I guess, where I get on again for a bit, but I always just feel so much better when I don't use socials just because of that comparison. Like I don't want to be a dick and just unfollow a bunch of people. And I get, yeah, you can hide them or whatever. I just think it's easier to just remove yourself from that. And I know, especially when you're feeling bad and whatever, and you're feeling down. It's so easy to fall into that comparison and just you see somebody else doing something else. Um, and basically, at the end of the day, you're watching their highlight reel, but it's hard for yourself to tell yourself that, like I can sit here and say that to myself right now, but then if I go watch, you know, a whole reel of like back to back reels of like people being successful and like bragging about how much money they are and doing all this stuff in life, it's like I'm human. I'm gonna get a little jealous of how they're uh, living those lifestyles and how maybe I want that for myself. Um, I try not to, but that's another thing. It takes a lot of mental energy to be able to sift through your feelings and regulate yourself. So especially when you're already feeling down, you're feeling drained, you're tired, and then you hop on and you just see all this stuff, and you're supposed to be like, hey, like I don't, it doesn't bug me, like it shouldn't bug me. Don't compare myself to other people. But it's like you don't have the energy to regulate yourself to be like, I don't care. Yes, you can build it into an instinct that you don't, and I think I've improved on that. But like at the end of the day, it's just so much easier when you remove that that judgment in there. And it's a lot easier to be happier with your other people. And then that also ties back in. If you're having successes in your own life, it's so much easier to be happy for other people. You know, yes, I still can be happy for other people, but again, if your life is shit, you're feeling low, whatever, like you don't have the energy, you need those wins in your life to make it easier to be happy for other people. It's just, yeah, it was definitely a rant there. But hopefully you guys get something out of this book review or summary or whatever it is. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I hope this video helps somebody and you're able to get something out of this. So yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts. Yeah, it's okay to be brutally honest. Say what you think. Kyle, my first name is Kyle, by the way. James O'Neill is my middle name. I just thought it sounded more professional with trading, and I didn't initially. I'll be honest, I was embarrassed, and I didn't want to be directly associated with my first and last name. I just thought it'd be easier to go with James O'Neill for my trading. Here you go. If you guys watch this far now, you know the truth. It's not actually James O'Neill. It's only my middle names. Yeah. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and peace.